Oh. Guys, this is not what the bulls wanted to see. Bitcoin's correction isn't done yet, and the charts are screaming that something much bigger could be coming here. We have been rejected from the same monthly level that triggered every major pullback in the past, and right now, data shows the market could still be way heading lower before any recovery. So in the stream, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening live here at the liquidation zones and the real levels that decide if this correction is over or just getting started. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Saturday. I have to find again a good spot where you guys can see me and I'm not moving too much around here. This is a nightmare sometimes with the camera here. Let me actually move this a little bit like this. Yeah, way better, way better. So we jump directly into today's charts here. 26 people on the stream. Guys, smash up the like button. We need more people here. I know there will be still a bunch coming in, but smash up the like button. Really important video today. So here, first of all, I want to start off with the CME chart, because tomorrow we're gonna get a new, potentially here, CME gap. Let me actually have a look here. Yeah, so Bitcoin is trading currently at $95,740. That puts CME around 96,200 if we would open today. So, and that means we have here a CME gap of over $1,000 with price starting out here tomorrow, and that means we get another move here to the downside on CME, and that will of course affect again the spot price too once that is happening. Now, can we come down here until tomorrow to prevent this and trade tomorrow around this level to not have a CME gap? Yes, of course. That could be also something that we cannot rule out completely, but I believe that this is going to happen afterwards. So I think we're going to get that CME gap, and then if things take a turn for the worse, then we come down here, close that CME gap before we get another leg to the upside. On the ETF side, we did not speak a long time about the ETFs here. Also here, we get mixed signals what's going on here. We see here some institutions are still accumulating over the last week, but overall the outflow is higher than the inflow that we are seeing here. So basically, the majority here of GBTC, IBIT, and FBTC, they have sold. IBIT was the biggest one, and I think IBIT is the BlackRock one, if I'm not mistaken. So BlackRock sold here 4,650 Bitcoin. Now you have to understand, this is not BlackRock themselves selling, it's their clients selling. So some clients panicked, made a little bit of profit potentially, since they're holding it, and said like, okay, this looks like this is going bust, so I'm gonna take my money and run. So, and yeah, so that is basically what's happening here. So if the ETFs selling off, it's not like BlackRock themselves usually, it's the clients that they are selling, institutional clients that they are selling Bitcoin to. So, but yeah, definitely not good. It's not a massive outflow day, but the day before was quite big, but still not the biggest outflow days that we have seen in the past, like 10,000, 12,000 Bitcoin in a single day. Now, where is the big problem here on the higher time frames for Bitcoin right now? So last month, we touched here this upward sloping trend line at $124,000 approximately. And then November opened up and started immediately to go to the downside. Sometimes you need to zoom out to understand the bigger picture and where price is actually heading to. So we will not forget that we are currently at a strong support level, even here on the monthly chart. We will not ignore that fact that we yesterday bounced exactly off that level here, which is a key support level. The $93,600 level. So, but if we would lose that level, as I mentioned yesterday, things will go really, really quickly, really bad for many people here. So the major problem that I have with this chart here is that in every prior bull run, we came up to this resistance here. So this is 24, sorry. I think, yeah, so this is not enough. I have actually to go to a different chart for this to show you this, but this is not a big issue. So here you see already 2018, yeah, and then logarithmic. Where is that? You know, I really hate when they're starting changing things on TradingView and you cannot find stuff anymore. Ah, here, there, logarithmic. So there we go. So here, are we on a monthly chart? Yes, we are. No, logarithmic. This doesn't make sense on a logarithmic, so it is the regular chart here. So here, if you look from 2017 until now, so this is what I wanted to show you guys, then you see that in every bull run, we have touched this line here at the top of the cycle. I'm not saying the top is in right now. I'm just saying, and historically, this was the moment where we hit the top. So here also in 2021, the first top, and then the second one, and then we went into the bear market, and now we have triple touched this and got rejected. So for now, it is not surprising when you look on a higher time frame like that we are seeing currently a pullback from this. But we should also not forget, while we are sitting at the key level, we need to see here now a strong reaction bounce back to the upside to continue this upwards trend and stand a chance here to touch this line again and this time break above that for the first time ever, because I think that this is going to happen. It is going to happen. The question is, how low will we go first before we're going to see that? So because the next time when we come up here, let it be in January or in February. So that means we have to go back to $125,000 before we would even touch that line, you know. So that's exactly the moment where we would touch that, and then we need to break above that. So that means Bitcoin has to go to like 130, 135, close above that line, and then also get continuation, and that will mark the beginning of the end for the cycle, in my opinion. So that is the level that you need to then start watching like a hawk when we break above that, because that will start the blow off top for Bitcoin. So this can still take a while, you know. This can take a month, 2 months, 3 months before it's actually happening, but that will be the beginning of the end. Now also on the weekly chart, things are not looking quite good right now, because remember what I said to you guys a while back. I said if we're ever losing here this upward sloping multi-month trend line and falling completely out of this channel, there's only one way how this can still play in our favor, and that is if the next weekly candle pumps straight back to the upside. It would be not a huge surprise to see here a $10,000 move in Bitcoin to the upside. We have seen this many, many times before. You know, you only need to look here at candles like this here or up here. They're all $10,000 moves here, or also here even more than $10,000 in that candle. I think 80 to, from what was, yes, that was a $13,000 move in that candle. So we have seen moves like that before. You know, it would be not surprising, like I just said, to see something like this, but it has to happen next week. There's no way around this, you know. It has to happen next week, and if it's not happening next week that we break back above this trend line, then we need to be close. So next week's candle has to be 100% a green one. If it's not green, then we should potentially pack up, you know, so because then the next level that we go down is sub $90,000. And I have shown this yesterday. Here, the next level that we need to watch then is $88,000. And this is the last line of defense for the bulls. If we lose that level, we are technically entering a bear market once that level is gone. So if we are staying there and closing a weekly candle below this level, I don't think that the following candle will push us back to the upside. I think that's it then, at least for a couple of months, where we start ranging between $75,000 and $80,000 before we then get early next year a push back here into this range. I want to mention here again, this is not the end of the bull market, even if we enter bear territory then. And it will only be the end of the bull market completely over if we lose here this range, this bear market bottom range. If we lose that, it's full on bear market. But until then, this here might be just a reconsolidation and reaccumulation before we come back to the upside. So, but when we're at 88, you better sell everything. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell everything, and I wait, because even if Bitcoin manages then to break below this and comes here all the way down to like 73, 68 something, there I'm gonna buy back, because I'm not convinced that we are going to break this level and start from here a bear market. But if we come down here, it will be a huge opportunity to buy. And yeah, when we lose $88,000, that is where I'm gonna pull the plug and sell everything. Now, but we're not there yet. For now, the $95,000 level is holding as support here. Sorry, the $93,000 level is holding. As you can see, is the monthly key support level. We got here a small bounce from this, but we need we need here more follow through on that bounce. You know, at least like to $98,000 is what I would like to see here in that weekly candle. Not a full retracement, but like 98 would be nice, and then the following candle next week needs to make that full retracement back to like $106,000. Also here on the daily chart, where did we get supported from? Exactly from the level that I have shown you yesterday here on the volume range. Here on the longest bar, I mentioned it. I said, if we come down here, we need to bounce from here. This is what we are seeing right now, but we are also struggling to stay above $95,700. And this is the level that today we need to close above to get continuation. If we're not closing above that, also there, I have my doubts that we're going to see then here continuation to the upside in the following days. Maybe some chop, but the odds are higher that we are starting to break lower if this candle today is not closing above 95,700. Also, the other reason for this is that here on the daily chart, we are today putting in a death cross. So there's already no way around this anymore. It's happening today, you know, so it's already a done deal, regardless of what price does. You know, even if price would pump back to like $107,000, even $112,000, it would not change anything anymore. This death cross is definitely happening. The only thing that could be prevented with a move like that is that the 50 moving average would immediately start bouncing back to the upside, but the current price action is not really showing me here or giving me confidence that this is what's gonna happening here later tonight, that we're gonna see a move like this in Bitcoin, especially the way that the daily candle is currently shaped up here. So the death cross will put more sell pressure on Bitcoin in the short term, and I'm surprised that we're actually holding current levels so good over the course of today. So and that is just another reason why we need to see Bitcoin climbing here quickly back above $100,000 to turn this into a fake out, where the 200 turns around like this, the 50 turns around like this, and then by what is this here next week, by the end of the month we have then the fake out confirmed by putting in a new golden cross on the daily chart. But here is something that I want to mention immediately, guys. If that turns out to be a fake out and we turn around like this and you get this golden cross, front run it, because you're gonna have signs already in like 10 days approximately. In 9 to 10 days, the price will be somewhere here. And I would front run this golden cross then, because once we get this golden cross, if you're here for a while, you know already what I'm gonna say here. The price will be way higher. The price will be somewhere here in that area. So you want to get in as early as possible, not too early, not at current levels, because you want to make sure that we are actually getting our golden cross, and this turns to be out to be a fake out. So you need to wait a little bit and see price coming here back up, reclaiming key support levels and pushing here further up before you start opening here such a swing trade, you know, because you want to get into a golden cross swing trade to ride the next wave to the upside that could go as high as past $200,000. So and the entry level will be, like I said, you can be a little bit early to this when we are roughly here in the development of that, because price will be somewhere around these levels here, $104,000, $106,000. That's from where I would then start building that position. So you can technically start building it now, but then you need to get in with like 1% of the total position size, 2%, maybe 5% on the grand max, you know, but not more. And then on the higher we go, you add 1%, 1%, 1%. until we are back at like $104,000, and then you can start adding like 10-20% the higher we go until we get the golden cross. So that is at least my plan for this specific setup here. So here on this is what we don't need today on the liquidation. No, so this is the scalp gradients on the MDX algo scalp gradient. Sorry guys, I'm again making so much content today behind the scenes that my brain is again here completely fried. So here on the liquidation levels, we are now in a green phase, and we have put in the first dot plot, which is an early sign for a reversal back to the upside. But as usual, when we get one of them, that doesn't mean that we are now ready to go back here straight away to the upside. So, and for that reason, I believe what we are going to see here is at some point a rollover where we are coming back to $95,000. Yeah, 94 is, yeah, not 94, but like 95, 94, 800, 700, then go all the way up to like almost $100,000. This time $100,000 will act as resistance, come back down, and then potentially we get the breakout to the upside and forming here a W pattern. So the second leg of that W pattern could be a little bit higher. Could be here at like 96, 95, 700, 96, somewhere around here. But we will put in a W pattern, in my opinion. This will be not a V-shaped recovery straight away. So it will look like a V-shape, potentially, on the way up. But then we come one more time down, pulling back, and only then we go up. And your neckline is at $99,700. So you want to see here a confirmed daily break above this, with the next candle retesting this for continuation. So there are ways how you can front run this on lower time frames, but this is something. Do I get into this today? Potentially, but I don't think so. But this is one of the trades that I'm personally looking at right now for a bigger payoff. Because when you look at this here, this is a 5.3% move to the upside. You can trade this with like 20x or make 100% here on that move. So, and I'm just waiting here for that retest of $94,700 that we come back here and take the trade from there and trade this then into the now resistance, the $100,000 level. So if you want to take this trade with me together, guys, then sign up on Tapbit. On Tapbit, you get 10% cash back up to $20,000 in sign-up bonuses and access to my free Telegram group if you deposit $500. There is a link in the description below, and also the steps that you need to take. If you cannot write me on Telegram, then write me an email, info@amcrypto.us, or on Twitter, amcryptoalex. And as you can see here, we are printing there while the market is down. I gave my guys in that group here a Tau trade, and this trade is still 6% in profit. We got not stopped out yet, but we raised the stop loss. So 6% on spot, and whatever leverage everyone used, you can multiply that with that. You know, I recommend 5x, but I know I have degens in my group. They go with 20, 30, 50x in trades like that. So they're definitely printing. So if you want access to the group, you know what to do. Sign up on Tapbit, deposit $500, write my team. We're going to send you the link. Now, liquidation levels. We have here some liquidation levels above us. And as you can see here, here's only liquidity above us right now. So that makes me highly confident that regardless of how low we go, that we will come back up to take all this liquidity. So, and you need to keep this in mind when you see price dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. The more liquidity is building up above us, the more likely and the higher the probability that we will come at some point and take it. This will not remain here for like 6 months. You know, this is not what's gonna happening here. You know, this will not stay there for 6 months or even 3 months. In the worst case that I see, this is gonna stay there for like 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and then we are back and start liquidating people here. So, but what you can also see here between yesterday and today, in this cluster, people started to take profit. There were yesterday way more shorts sitting in this level than today, and they took already profit. So, but at the same time, here are now late shorters at $97,300, $400 to $98,000, and they will definitely get punished. So that, hence why I believe that we're going to get here a move to like around $100,000. Then we need to reevaluate, can we break through that and get the continuation move that we are waiting for. On the liquidation heat map, honestly, I did not look today, so I look with you guys now the first time fresh at it. Yeah, here you see one more move to like $94,000 makes sense from a liquidity perspective to take here the most concentrated area and then send it back up. On the shorter time frames here over the last week, here you see similar things. Here 93,400, 94,500. These are right now the biggest liquidity levels just below us, and then it's only above us. 98, and then here all the way up to 104, 102. Here's a little bit. So there is nothing anymore. When they take this out, price has to go back up. And that's why I'm telling you, you want to be positioned right when we're getting this move back to the upside. So what I would do, and what I also partially already did, I stacked limit orders all the way from 94,800 to $91,000. So if we lose like $89,000, then like I said, I start cutting and reducing my exposure. But until then, I will have limit orders and keep buying for that bigger move here to take all this liquidity. The USDT dominance was here having a field day and broke here almost 6%. We were at 5.89%. Today we are seeing here a small pullback. This has to dramatically and fast come down back into this support cluster here. So, and when we are coming down here, you don't want to see a bounce from this, because a bounce would be, again, really bad for the crypto market overall, and could lead to imminent continuation of this downwards move that we are seeing in Bitcoin. The total free market cap is holding on here to $900 billion right now. We are at 918. Here we are fine for the moment as long as we are just going sideways. Also here you don't want to see tomorrow kind of going down like this. And I want to tell you guys here once more, if you want to understand how I'm trading in this market and getting results for my group here, then really something simple that you can do. I have limited slots and spots available for my mentorship program, only by application. I only take a handful of people right now, not everyone, you know, it's by application. We are going through every single person that's applying and see if that is a good fit for the program or not. I think I cannot help you, I will not take your application, you know. So, and also if it's too many people, I have to start to filter people out, you know. So, and if you want to take your trading journey to the next step, there is a link directly in the top of the description. Go there and apply for the mentorship if you think that you need some help with your trading, and then we get on a call with my team and going to figure out how we can help you, how we set up a plan and structure everything correctly so that you get the results that you want. Again, there's a link in the description for that. Now, Ethereum is still sitting here at the $3,100 support level. Also bouncing off that a little bit today, but if Bitcoin comes down and takes the liquidity at $92,000, $93,000, then here, this is the path to the downside for Ethereum. And I think $2,700 is the ultimate level from where we're gonna see a bounce back to the upside. So, and also here, I have already limit orders all the way down here, and you should, just in case that it's happening, it doesn't have to happen, you know, it doesn't have to happen, but if it happens, you want to have limit orders down here and get filled. You know, of course, you set your limit orders with the stop loss at $2,600 to make sure that if it is a falling knife catch, that you get stopped out, you know, if we are just dropping here into lower levels. So, but I will be honest, I'm also going to start build a position from here, from that area, if we are closing today above that level and tomorrow starts out green. So then I start building a position from here, because then down this here might be not happening. And then I want to be in Ethereum and not miss that move back to the upside to $4,000. Because a move to $4,000 is right now a 30% move to the upside. Here we don't need that. Then Solana is looking really bearish here when you look here on first sight, with the downward sloping trend line, but there is a bullish divergence currently on the chart. Here, RSI, upward sloping trend line, price declining, and we did not see this bullish divergence playing out yet. So here that bullish divergence can push us back to like 146, even to like $152. And that's what I'm waiting for. As long as the RSI remains above this upward sloping trend line, we should get really soon a nice move here in Solana to the upside, especially as long as we are holding here $139. So, but the stochastic is not so happy here anymore. It's putting in a sell signal. But the MACD is looking good, and the RSI is looking good, and price is also looking good. And then remember, guys, when I teach you 3 out of 4, you start ignoring the one that's misfiring, and the stochastic might be misfiring here right now. Then one of the other coins that I'm currently looking at, if we are not breaking $2.55 for near and close a 4-hourly candle above that level, then I believe that from this rejection area, because it will be then a rejection area, we're going to get one more move here to the downside to $2.37, $2.32, and this will mark the bottom, basically the double bottom for near, from where we go back then to the upside. Because we have broken this downward sloping trend line, which was important to break, and we got follow through from that. So, and now once we close a 4-hourly candle above $2.55, this will just confirm that breakout and break of structure of this downwards trend, that we are breaking back into an uptrend right now in direction of $2.86 and potentially even $3. So here, just watch $2.55, and if we're not breaking that, like I said, then we come down here to like $2.37 and you set limit orders all the way down here. Then Tau, I just want to briefly talk about this. So this is the trade setup that I gave to the group. Right now, I would not enter this. Actually, on the daily, it's not looking bad to enter this, I must say. So let me give you also a Tau trade, because there might be an opportunity. But I want to see here. Let me see. What? Yeah, there. I found it. So here you want to wait for a break of this downward sloping trend line. So wherever that trend line is breaking, so it could be here with the next daily candle at $344. So another, that's a 1% move. You know, we're talking about a 1% move. Same target, $412, but your stop loss is a little bit lower. It's basically the entry of the signal that I've given to the group. So, but they have a Tau trade, because the daily is looking amazing. RSI turning around, MACD looking to turn bullish here. Stochastic RSI also flatlining at the bottom. Let me move this up here so that you can see that here. Buy signal coming in. Looks really, really bullish. And the daily candle is also looking bullish to me. This might turn into a tweezer bottom, actually. I just see that. Tweezer bottom, big reversal pattern, back to the upside. So I see yeah, I can have a look at Dash. Whoa, that pulled back quite a bit. Just saw that. So yeah, Dash was one of the runners today. A massive, massive rejection here. On a daily chart, it looks good. You know, it looks like we could get continuation here, but the candle looks super ugly. And if we are not getting here a push back to like $86, which is like a 10% pushback to the upside, I would not enter this right now. You know, so this kind of looks super ugly. Maybe on a lower time frame. Yeah, also here, no. Like this takes another 8 hours to settle, at least another 8 hours to settle, and this could fall back all the way here to like $71. So another 10% to the downside before this goes back to the upside. Because here we got rejected at a key level, key resistance. Look at this here, $95. Here in the past, this was strong resistance every single time. If I go here all the way over here, come on, give me the price action. I know we were here not a long time ago. There we were close. There. Look here, how important that was. How important support $95 was until we broke that and confirmed it basically here. Here, that was the nail in the coffin for Dash. So, and since then, so when was that? That was 3 years ago in May. It's 3.5 years ago. So this is a 3.5 years ago strong resistance So you have to keep that in mind. So it's not a big surprise that we keep getting rejected from there and basically had a deviation above that and then came back down. So now the next time, because it's then the 5th times in the last 3.5 years that we are retesting it, on the 5th or 6th attempt it will break, and then I think we're gonna stay above this for a really extended long time. So you can get a really good entry if we move here to like $71 for a massive long-term hold, you know. So if you put not a lot of leverage on that, let it be 5x, you can ride this, I think, until the end of the bull run. So let me have a look here. I wanted to have a look here on Monero. Monero, I have a friend who has so much Monero, it's not funny anymore, and he has it like since $40-50. That in 2017, that was like when I met him. That was where he started to accumulate his Monero. He never sold it. He has still all the Monero that he bought there. So he's up 10x in 10 years on what he bought and kept accumulating. So yeah, he is now laughing the whole day. You know, the market is down, but Monero is up. So he is laughing like crazy. And this year, it definitely completely passed by me, you know, so I wished I would have paid more attention to it. I have also some Monero, but nothing close to what my friend is holding. And I just want to make sure here. Yeah, so currently we're at massive resistance. Was this a new? Yeah, so that current level here, $430, is holding us back from creating a new all-time high for Monero. Oh, sorry, I moved the camera a little bit. I hope it's now, let me see, is it now good again? Well. No. There we go. This is okay. Yeah, so this is currently the level preventing us from pushing much higher into new all-time high. But once we are above $430, you're going to see Monero flying and past $500. We go past $500 fairly quickly. It will look similar to Zcash because here on a daily chart, everything looks bullish. Look here on the RSI, the MACD absolutely, crushing it here with bullish momentum. Stochastic putting in a buy signal. This will keep flying, guys. So, and here, really easy to spot when the party is basically over for Monero is right now this upward sloping trend line. Lose this trend line and the party is over for Monero for a long time. But as long as we are above that, it will keep going. So would I long this right now? No, unless I find a really good entry here on a lower time frame, because we're here really close to this resistance. But we need this 2% move in Monero to move above that before I would be interested in entering this, or a pullback back to like $405, $402, that area here. Because if we do that, then we basically put in here a cup and handle. See this? So here, cup, here the handle, and then the breakout will bring us at least to $480. So guys, I'm here again, 33 minutes, way too long than I intended to be, but I thought it's important that I come out and give you all the information that I had. Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I see you hopefully still with a portfolio tomorrow.